Hola a todos and welcome to the Getting Started with Calico Spanish curriculum training video. My name is Haley Ziegler and I'm the curriculum director here at Calico Spanish. By the end of this video, you will accomplish three things. You're going to gain confidence in accessing the online platform. You're going to analyze core components of a Calico Spanish unit and lesson, and you're going to know how to prepare for your first day of instruction. So let's dive in. First, we're going to explore the core structure of the Calico Spanish curriculum. The Calico Spanish curriculum is divided into 4 levels: Level A, Level B, Level C, and Level D. You will notice that the levels are color-coded, and that will help you identify the resources that go with that specific level. If learners have little to no exposure to Spanish, Level A is the place to begin their instruction. Level A was designed for pre-novice to novice-low learners who know very little Spanish. And in Level A, learners will start to focus on greetings, goodbyes, numbers 1 through 10, colors, and calendar vocabulary. They will also begin to discuss and describe things that they like to do for fun. Level B is for novice-low learners who are able to meet the learning targets of Level A. In Level B, learners will begin to describe their family members and the people they love. They will also explore different animals by discussing their pets. They expand their vocabulary to discuss things they like to do and what others like to do. Level C recycles the vocabulary used in Level A and B and adds the vocabulary for learners to describe their house, daily routine, and what they like to eat and drink. Level C will support learners who are emerging into the novice mid-proficiency level. Level D immerses learners in Michoacán, Mexico, on Ofelia La Oveja Blanca's grandfather's farm. So while continuing to recycle the vocabulary in the 3 previous levels, learners will explore new vocabulary related to the outdoors, weather and climate, and the cultural celebration of Dia de Muertos. By the end of Level D, learners will be approaching the novice high proficiency level on the topics discussed in the entire program. So now let's look inside each level. Inside each level, there are 8 units, and each unit consists of 10 to 12 days of lesson plans. Our Calico Spanish curriculum is packed full of engaging resources for learners to enjoy. We will unpack each type of resource in a few minutes. Now, first, we want to show you a sample teaching schedule to help you visualize the pacing of the Calico Spanish curriculum. We estimate that a teacher who sees students for 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week will complete the program in 4 to 5 years. But we recognize that everyone has a different teaching schedule, and that is okay. That is the best part about the Calico Spanish curriculum. You can adapt it for any teaching scenario that you have. So now we will dive into the core structure of the Calico Spanish unit and look at those resources in depth. But before we dive in, we want to remind you again that we do provide step-by-step lesson plans, but we give you full permission to change and accommodate what you need in order to best serve the learners who are in your room. You are the expert of the learners that you serve. So when we look at a unit, it's really important to know how this curriculum is structured and designed. So when writing this curriculum, we followed the research and theory of Dr. Stephen Krashen and his second language acquisition theory. Now, this theory states that learners should receive ample amounts of input, the language that learners hear or see, before they can give output, the language that learners produce on their own. The input they receive must be comprehensible, and you as the teacher must be comprehended by the learners. So without comprehensible input, learners will simply hear noise instead of meaningful language. But the good news is we have multiple sources of comprehensible input and many opportunities for meaningful output in every lesson plan of the program. So, Calico Spanish takes an immersive and practical approach when we are teaching vocabulary. We teach vocabulary explicitly and implicitly. We teach it explicitly through the use of flashcards and in the vocabulario section within our video story. We also teach it implicitly within the context of our video stories, comics, and games throughout the program. And when we're choosing vocabulary, we ask 2 questions. Number 1, what words and phrases are learners going to want to use in real life? And number 2, what vocab helps tell this unit story? And you're going to see that this vocabulary recycles throughout all lessons and vocabulary in units throughout the program. The next core source of input is called the video story, and this features engaging animated characters interacting in natural Spanish. Learners will listen for target vocabulary as they watch the video stories, gaining new understanding and noticing new language patterns with each view of the video. There are 3 sections of the video: vocabulario, cuento, and preguntas. In the vocabulario section, learners will review the target vocabulary of the unit. In the cuento section, our animated characters engage learners with a fun story and dialogue. And the preguntas section involves the narrator asking clarifying questions to learners about the story they just heard. And the narrator targets specific vocabulary we are aiming for learners to acquire in their questions. Moving on to the storybook video. Now, this is similar to the video story. It does use the same story, but it is read by a narrator, and it also introduces narration language. This allows the teacher to provide more repetition of the vocabulary and story, but it has a more advanced approach to it. And these are a great way to promote literacy and encourage learners to read along with you in class. Our most recent addition to the program, and something I am so excited about, is called the Calico comic. Calico comics are detailed, colorfully illustrated stories that immerse learners into the rich culture of Spanish-speaking nations. And within every comic, readers are embarking on a captivating journey through an authentic backdrop. It invites them to interact more with the Spanish language, discuss unique storylines, and discover new details about the Calico Spanish characters and the real world. Also, each lesson plan will contain a Calico Spanish music video. And these are songs that are featured on our viral YouTube channel. These songs are a foundational component of our curriculum, and it's how our company got started in education. Our curriculum will also help set you and your young learners up for success by incorporating assessments throughout the lesson plans. So in order to practice skills and demonstrate learning, learners will complete formative assessments in the form of activity sheets at regular checkpoints within the unit. Also included in the curriculum are 2 comic activity sheets within each unit of the program to accompany that unit's comic. We also have summative assessment activity sheets that appear at the end of each unit to help the teachers gauge learners' ability to complete unit objectives, which we also call can-do statements. This also helps teachers understand and know if their learners are ready to advance to the next unit. In addition, every level ends with an assessment titled Si se puede, yes you can, to help teachers evaluate learners' success over level-wide objectives. You can adapt our activity sheets for any age or skill level, and we strive to have these push learners to use vocabulary that they have begun to acquire in real-life contexts. If you don't have time to include these activity sheets into your schedule, it's a great thing to send home with learners. And if they practice it with their families at home, it's just a great way for you guys to connect school to home. We also believe here at Calico Spanish that no teacher or learner's language skills are too elementary to understand the rich cultural products, practices, and perspectives affecting the Spanish language. Our innovative culture capsules guide both teachers and learners in discussions of how culture affects language and what language can tell us about culture. Calico Spanish's culture capsules are built on the inquiry model. So first, you and your learners are going to explore the cultural content directly related to the language content in our curriculum. Second, you and your learners will engage in asking deep cultural questions, researching answers, and forming well-founded opinions. And lastly, learners will complete an assessment based on ACTFL's intercultural competency standards. So you might be wondering, what are my next steps? So if you haven't already secured your subscription to the Calico Spanish curriculum, we highly recommend that you do so that you have full access to all of the curriculum components that we've mentioned. Once you have a full subscription, you can begin exploring the website and start teaching as soon as you feel confident. If you have any questions or need any additional support, we encourage you to reach out to us through email by emailing support@calicospanish.com, and we will be happy to assist you. We wish you the best of luck on your teaching journey, and we're so excited that you've chosen us here at Calico Spanish.